All right, guys. Dreadnought's back today with a new review, and we're going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Spider-Man series Venom. Looking very cool here in the packaging. Actually says Venom. We don't see that very often. Has the Build-A-Figure Absorbing Man logo up top, and you can see some of the head swaps from that Build-A-Figure. Looking very cool here with some other accessories. Some nice artwork of Venom here on the side. Same thing going on this side. And then there's a look at the back of the box with some nice art of Venom, the other figures from the Wave, and the Absorbing Man there, and a small little bio that reads, a sinister symbiote Venom mimics the powers of Spider-Man and plots to take down the web-slinging hero once and for all. So let's get this bad boy open and get a look at our Venom out of the packaging. Looking mean, and I definitely like the look of this figure. It is a very simple paint scheme that Hasbro went with, very in line with what we've seen in their Marvel Legends, and I think this figure was a long time coming. We haven't really seen a Venom Marvel Legends since the days of Toy Biz, and of course it's not going to have that detail in the sculpting that we saw in the Toy Biz days, but I think it fits very much in line with what Hasbro's given us. I like the articulation already, and I definitely can't wait to start playing around and posing this figure. So let's take a closer look. Taking a look at accessories. This guy comes with an extra set of hands, and these are the fisted hands that he uses for web shooting or punching out Spider-Man, and I think they came out pretty well. I'm not sure if these are reused or not, but I like the sculpt on them anyway. Nice and veiny on top, which the way Venom should be, and it has that white paint and then the black circles for the webs to come out there. Look really good. I like these. The only thing I'll say about all the hands are the hinges are very tight, and I would advise using a little heat on them. They don't necessarily break. I didn't have any problems with them breaking or anything. It just popped out of the peg hole when I tried to use them. I took a hairdryer to it, and it freed them up nice where they work just fine now, so no problems now. And then it also comes with the alternate head with the tongue hanging out. It looks pretty cool overall. It's kind of a clean look for Venom, especially when it's been so long since we've seen a Venom figure other than Diamond Select or the old Toy Biz, and they were more detailed. So it's a little stunning at first to look at this one being kind of clean looking. But I think it came out pretty well for what it is. Nice wrinkles in the forehead and the front of the mask. The eyes came out nice and clean. Nice white paint. A little bit of black shining through over here. And then around the back, all nice and clean. I like that shade of black they used. The teeth all came out really nicely sculpted. Have kind of a yellowish tint to them. A little bit of marbling right there on the side of the mouth there. But then the tongue came out a nice pink shade. I like that color they used. And then the green, that they painted on dripping down, and then around the tongue. I think it all came out pretty well. The head swaps are a little tough popping on and off, I will say that. But they go on fine, and I didn't really feel like they were going to break at any point. And as we take a closer look at Venom himself, the head sculpt that comes on the body I think came out very nice. I'm definitely a fan of the classic look. Kind of his first appearance when he had the big grinning smile. In the comic, I think when he first appeared, when Todd McFarlane drew him, it was all white teeth. Really didn't see gums and everything. But I kind of like this. It's kind of an in-between look to what you see with the tongue hanging out and then that grin. And I think it came out pretty well. You can see all the teeth painted on there. Looks really nice. Very clean looking, and then that pink around the gums. And then the eyes came out nice and clean on this one too. No black really shining through. It gets a little bit sloppy around the edge, but not enough to tell. And I like that shade of black, and no marbling or anything going on this head sculpt. And then through the figure itself, it's mostly black. There's not a lot to talk about. But the Spider-Man logo, looks really nice and clean. They painted all the way up underneath the joints, which I think is a nice touch. It goes all the way underneath his arms. It's just very clean overall. I really like it. The white is a little bit different shade here than it is on the upper torso. I'm not sure why that is. It just came out that way, but really you can't tell it. Probably on the back is the only place I could tell that it was just a little bit different shade. And then that's painted all the way up underneath as well, which is really nice. And then the hands, same as on the other hands, nice white on top of the black there. And this is like the Hyperion mold, I believe, which we've seen used several times before. It was probably, known by everybody it was going to be the choice for Venom. I didn't think we were really going to get a new body mold. And for some, it's going to be too big. I actually think it works out well. I remember Venom when he first appeared, and he had a very hulking appearance. you know, kind of towering over Spider-Man. So for me, it works out nicely, and I don't really have any problems with reusing it. Nice muscle definition sculpted in all the way through the chest and down through the legs, and then down through the bottom of the legs there. It does kind of look like boots at the bottom because they use that mold, you know, but it does have enough detail in it, and then the feet are kind of softly rounded, and I think they came out well. Peg holes at the bottom of the feet down there, and nice Venom butt back there. You know, just not much to talk about as far as sculpting and paint, but I think overall it looks really good. And taking a look at articulation, I did pop the other head on just so you could get a look at it. It is a little bit tough to pop on and off. I also popped on the other hands, and those are real easy to pop on and off there. It worked out really good. But looking at the articulation on the head, his head can move up a whole lot, man. That thing can really get up there. And then he can bury all the way in the chest like so. Rotates around all the way and has a little bit of that Venom pivot to get that kind of staring look, which I think works out pretty well. The arm moves out that far, rotates all the way around, has that upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbows like so. Hands rotate around and have that hinge, like I said, that you do need to free up with a little bit of heat, but they work really well once you do that. It does have ab crunch, crunches forward a great amount, and then moves back a great amount as well. And then he has waist rotation, which clicks for some reason. It's a little bit weird. Legs move out a great amount. Get them out like so. And then he's got that upper leg rotation, a little bit tight there. Double jointed knees. I wish they would get a little bit closer, but they do work pretty well. Has that boot cut rotation there. Has this hinge on the foot. Moves up like so, down like so. And then does have that ankle rocker. And here's our Venom compared to a couple of my favorite Venom figures of all time. The Marvel Select Venom over here on the left, and the Agent Venom over here on the right from Hasbro. I definitely love the Diamond Select the most. It's probably my favorite Venom figure of all time. As you can see, I don't have the Toy Biz version out here, quite frankly, because mine had the rubber that actually just kind of rotted off the figure, and it's no good anymore, so it's in a bin somewhere, so I didn't drag it out. But this is my all-time favorite Venom. I just love the amount of detail Diamond Select put in this guy, and the amount of accessories is just sick. But I think this guy comes in very close, and I think I definitely like the look of him overall. I am wondering, just looking at these, if these work on this other Venom. So let's just check it out real quick. I'm just curious if they'll plug in. Looks, oh, no, well, maybe. That's not perfect, but yeah, there you go. And here's our Venom compared to the other two figures I reviewed from the wave previously. And you can see he's measuring in at right at 7 inches tall. And here we are with some symbiote madness with two other figures that share the same mold. And just for fun, here he is next to one of my new favorite villains, Kylo Ren, and my favorite villain of all time, the Joker on the right. And wrapping up here, overall, I gotta say, you know, this isn't gonna be the Venom figure to replace all Venom figures by any means, but I think Hasbro did a decent job with the figure overall. I think the Hyperion mold worked out well for the figure, you know, and I think the paint is just extremely clean on the figure. It would have been nice to see some more detail, maybe some blue shading in it, you know, or something like that. But I think this simple paint scheme and look goes well with the other Infinite Legends we've seen from the Spider-Man wave, like the Pizza Spidey, and I think it'll look good with those figures. Came with some decent accessories. You know, I've always say, you know, more is better, and, you know, it would have been nice to get some webbing or some tendrils as well, you know, but that's really nitpicking at this point. And the only thing I really could say negative about the figure is the heads get a little bit loose after posing for a while, you know, but not extremely loose. So, you know, and that's just getting real nitpicky overall with the figure. Articulation wise, I think the figure has decent articulation. You know, you can always ask for more articulation as well. And he's not my favorite Venom figure of all time. It's still going to be the Diamond Select over here. This is still my favorite guy over here until something replaces him. But actually, this articulation on this Venom is a lot better than this one. Or, well, better. I'm not going to say a lot better. But it's definitely improvement with the rockers and the double joints on the knees and stuff. So, you know, I'm going to have a lot more fun posing and playing with this guy. And that means a lot to me as a collector. You know, I want to get this guy in cool poses and be able to do different things with him. So, you know, with that said and everything else, I definitely have to rate the figure a buy. And I think, you know, I highly recommend it to anybody looking for a Venom figure. So, you know, there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. If so, please give me a big thumbs up. Facebook, Twitter, Toy Art links in the description below as always. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe, and we'll see you soon.